All right, so this is the second part of the video. So what you're gonna notice is that now we're focusing on the coloring part of it. So at this point, you're gonna take this paper that has all your erasings and all your calculations and all that, and you're gonna trace it. You're gonna trace it to the nice clean white paper that I gave you. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and trace it very carefully, and then you're gonna get any pen that is black ink, and you're gonna trace all your lines. But for this, I'm gonna show you where to color it, and you can go ahead and transfer it to the nice paper by tracing it, and then be able to use colors, the color pencils that I gave you to be able to color this. You can use any color except for white, because the paper is white, so you won't be able to see it. Also, don't pick colors that are very similar to each other. For example, don't pick yellow, orange, and orange because they're so similar. Same thing, don't pick red and red, orange because they're so similar. So make sure that your colors that you're picking are very, very different. You're gonna need 4 different colors. So the colors you're gonna need are gonna be labeled like so. So you need one color for the front, or sometimes they call that the face. And then you have one that is the top. So you're gonna color that one a different color, and then you're gonna have left. And then you're gonna have right. So it doesn't really matter which color you use as long as it's used. I'm gonna go ahead and use these particular colors. So for the front, I'm gonna go ahead and use black. And you got to make sure you color it in solidly. Don't do it halfway. Make sure you really put some effort into it. Top is going to be this lighter blue. My left is going to be red. And then my right is going to be green. So what I recommend is that you start to kind of create little markings on your lettering so that you don't accidentally color something in the wrong place. So the front is basically this. So if you take a look at this O, the front is the front part of the letter. It's called the face sometimes. So the front is going to be black. So it's going to be solid black. So I'm going to color it solidly. Now I'm gonna go ahead and make markings so that you know where you're supposed to. So that's the front of the O. This right here is the front of the U. And this is the front of the T. So that later on you know exactly where you're supposed to color. Okay. Now the top. The top is basically anything that is on the top. Some letters have more than one top. So for example, the T only has 1. The U has 2 here and 1 here, so that's 3 tops. You should be able to know that there was a top here. If you take this corner, bring it down, and when it hits the diagonal, boom, that gives you your horizontal line right there. So that's a top, this is a top. So that's a top, 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 and that's a top. And then for the O, that's a top. This little piece, even though it's at an angle, it is considered part of the top because it's facing up. And then right here, this part, even though it's enclosed, this part is still facing up, so we also color that blue. Obviously, you want to stay inside the lines and color nice and solidly. All right, so now for the left. The left means that anything that is facing the left side of the object. So for the letter T, this is the left side, and this is the left side. So these two are left. On the letter U, you have one left and one right. So which one of these sides are similar to this one? So you can see this is on the left side of the T, so this one right here, this little skinny one is the only left on the U. You tend to see both sides when you have letters towards the middle. And the farther away you get from the vanishing point, going this way, the less and less you're going to see of both sides. But the closer you get to the vanishing point, the more you'll see of both sides. For example, the letter O only has a right, and the right is supposed to be green. So you can see that not all of them have a right and not all of them have a left. Now, going back to the letter U, it does have a right side, so we're going to color that one. So again, you are not coloring your paper on the grid paper like I'm doing. I'm doing this on grid paper just to show illustrative wise, but you're tracing all of your perspective letters onto the nice clean white paper that doesn't have any grid, and you're gonna color it using your color pencils after you have gone over it with a pen. The pen should be black. It helps makes the letters really stand out. So now I'm just going to go ahead and color the letter. And this takes time, but I want you to see what one of these letters looks like once it is completed. And then once you are finished with your project, go ahead and take a really good picture of it and submit it. So one of the main reasons you want to trace everything is because sometimes when you're doing a design, you have to erase things. Sometimes those erasing marks are not visible anymore, but when you press with a pencil hard and you erase and then you do shading, or in this case coloring, you do see those ghost lines reappear. You know you're coloring it correctly if your hand starts to hurt, because that's the kind of pressure we want. Now, instead of seeing the pencil lines like you see here, you should be able to see the pen line, which is helping you separate the different planes or sides, if you want to call them sides, but these are all planes like in geometry. The different surfaces that you're going to see when it's a three-dimensional object. All right, so that's basically it. So once you finish, you'll see it, all of it complete using the 4 main colors that you selected. Okay, good luck. Have any questions, please let me know.